everyone, welcome back. So I wanted to do that mid-year check-in, maybe do some of my top favorites of this year so far, and maybe a couple of my least favorite. So I tried to narrow it down a little bit, so I think I'm going to maybe do like my top 5 and my bottom ones, which there was just a couple, and then just maybe some honorable mentions, because so far I've actually read quite a few books of this year. I'm pretty happy with it. I had set a Goodreads goal of 30 books. Wow. And so far I'm at 38. So I think I'm okay. I probably should have upped that goal, but that's okay. I just like seeing that it's completed. I mean, if you want to set up your goal as 1, that's fine. 1, 100, who cares, right? As long as you read something. So I'm going to start off with my top 5. And so starting it off, I'll start off actually with probably the first book I actually read this year, which was Dress of the Emerald Sea. The beautiful hardcover edition. This is a really nice edition, but I will say his other hardbound books, like I have the Elantris one, I think it was a little bit better quality. I don't know why, these just don't feel quite as strong as those other ones, but I mean, it's still nice, but it just didn't feel like the same quality. But the pictures are really pretty in this. And I mean, I guess the Elantris one has some pictures too. But anyways, going on. So this was probably one of my top 5 as I'm putting it on the list. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was just such a unique read. It was a great way to start off the year. Sometimes I'll start with a book of the year that can be a miss, and it's a little discouraging to start off your year on a bad note. And it was really exciting to get it to start off on a really good book, a new one I was super excited about, and it ended up living up to that excitement. I really enjoyed this story. I think this is something for everyone. I really enjoyed this. This is your classic fantasy, your classic feel-good, nostalgic kind of feel of that fantasy. I loved it. It's a unique story. I think I've said that a couple times, but I thought it was really well done. And you get, Hoy does really well telling the story in this one too. And he's hilarious. He's under this curse and he's saying things that are just ridiculous and he can't help himself. And it's really funny. And then I liked the main character too, Tress herself. I think she was a great main character. I like the side characters, more of that piratey ship feel. That was fun. I liked that a lot. There's not a lot of like seafaring ship type books, and so it was nice to get that. And it was such a different world that it wasn't your classic, sailing across the ocean. There was that other dangers of the spores in the ocean and everything. So it was a very unique story, and I loved it. I really did. So going off of that with the secret projects, in my last review, I said I really liked Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, and that one is another top 5. I enjoyed that one a lot. Another extremely unique story. I can't wait to get the hardcover of that because that's a really pretty cover too. So I'm super excited. But yes, that was a great story as well. I really enjoyed getting to see just it felt like, the two different worlds, they were just so different and they each had their own problems. And then you had the two main characters that interacted with those different types of settings and you get to see their reactions to them, let alone their reactions to each other. And it was I thought it was a great mix. I really did enjoy that. Reading the acknowledgments and seeing a lot of the other reviews too, it has a lot of, references to like anime and everything, which I haven't read or, been exposed too much to that. But I really enjoyed this. So for me, it just felt like a completely new and unique read. And I really liked it. I thought it was great. It's another one I'd recommend. I get how maybe some people may not like it as much as Tress because it's so different. But I enjoyed them both equally. And I think they were both, really fun. So I recommend both of them. And they made it to my top 5 of the year so far. So that's pretty good. So my next one is, I don't have the book, but I have the first one. But the Bound and the Broken series, I'm going to say book number 2 of Darkness and Light. I am loving this series a lot. This one I think I gave it a 4 or 4.5 stars. because I had a couple complaints about it, a couple complaints about maybe the tone, and just a couple, I don't know, storyline complaints I had about it. Book 2, flawless in my opinion. I loved it. It was so good. You had all these other points of views. You had a lot of like cool battle scenes, the interactions with the dragon and the dragon rider. It's great. And it has all your fantasy elements too. The elves, the dwarves, they have druids, they have the mages, they have the dragons. There's everything, and it's great, and I love it. And it's more of that dark fantasy, so you're getting a lot of fights, and it's not like everyone survives. You're getting a lot of people that are, a lot of characters that are dying off, and it hurts. And I like, when you kind of feel that gut wrenching, like, oh man, they died, like, come on. But it adds, to the stakes of the story, and it makes it more tense, and I enjoy that. I like being on the edge of my seat reading. But I guess if you're wanting like a relaxing evening, maybe that's not it. But this will keep you up, so it'll keep you awake. But I love this series. I really do. I'm really enjoying it. I'm super excited to see where it's going to go. I'm sad that they're not all out yet because I just want to binge through this series, but I can't. Right now I'm on the actual third book of War and Ruin. I've read Exile in the fall. So I'm not counting the novellas. I guess I'm just saying, the third actual book, not the novella. Okay, sorry, I know. But it's going to be a long one. So I'm only like 25% of the way through, and it's still saying I have 18 hours of read time. So it's a big book, which I'm super excited about because I am loving it and I do not want it to end. So I haven't been reading too much recently because I just don't want it to end. I love it so much. So I'm super excited about it. But like I said, probably 2 is my favorite so far. I really liked Exile, but I don't know. I'm probably going to say book 2. I'm going to put above that just because it is the main, point of the story. And, it's a longer book. There's a lot more going on. You're getting so many point of views and just each one's great. I'm never like when I'm reading, a lot of times when I'm reading books with multiple point of views, I'm just like, oh, this one again. I never feel that with this series. I'm just like, I'm emotionally invested into every character in their story, and I love it, and it's so well done. So I'm very excited about that. The next one, so the book just got released yesterday. So I finally have the actual cover, the actual book with this gorgeous cover, Traitor. I'm so excited for this one. I got to read it with an advanced reader copy from NetGalley, and I loved it. I was super excited. The ending isn't extremely, it might feel a little anticlimactic, but I thought it worked, and I really liked it. I thought it was a good wrap-up to everything. I wish I would have reread 1 and 2 going into this, but I didn't because I was just so excited to jump into 3. I think if I would have reread 1 and 2 and just read them all together again, I think I would have, really been even more excited. But there was a couple of times where I forgot some things and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then that happened there. So it would have probably been a little better if I would have gone back and read 1 and 2. But like I said, I was just so excited to jump into it. And I really did enjoy it. I got to the point too where I think I was like maybe a fourth of the way through, and I just couldn't put it down. I just kept reading because I was invested into it again. And these covers, I love these covers. So I brought the other ones out too, so you can see how awesome they all look together. So and I like the titles too. They're simple titles. You got the Pariah, the Martyr, and the Traitor. And this is just such a great trilogy. I loved it so much. And I need to read Anthony Ryan's other books because now I think he might be a top author for me. I don't know. But here's the Pariah, which is a cool cover too. The Martyr, and then the Traitor. I don't know. I love this trilogy. I thought it was great. And again, this is more of that darker fantasy, and I'm finding that apparently I like more darker fantasy. Didn't realize that. I guess I do. I'd probably say Sanderson's more of that light, more of that nostalgic kind of fantasy feel, which not that that's bad. I still enjoy that too. But, I mean, he does have some dark moments, but for the most part, I feel like it's more optimistic, which is good. I still like that optimism. But yeah, and then so my last one of the top 5, I'm going with a YA read, and I don't know why I'm so addicted to this trilogy, but the Cruel Prince trilogy. So, I mean, I don't know which one's my favorite, so I'm going to count them together, because book one's just kind of meh. You need all of them together. I don't know what it is, why I like this one so much. I just do. And I seem to reread it every year around fall or winter. And so it just happened that I read it. I think I read it in January. I read these within a couple days. I can't put them down. I just really enjoy them. I've probably read this maybe 3 times now. I just really like them, and I'm probably going to read them again by the end of the year. I don't know what it is. It's just like, I don't know, maybe it's just like that TV show that you kind of just veg and watch, and, you know, you're just like, I don't know why I like this, but I do. And I really do like this. If you're going to read a YA book, I recommend these. I enjoy them. I know there's some that don't, obviously, because YA, you know, you have people that love it and the people that hate it. I enjoy, you know, the YA books as well as the epic fantasy, because sometimes I get tired of reading so many epic fantasies. I need to take a break, and I try to read maybe a YA book every now and then, just because it kind of helps me take that break without really taking a break, because I'm still reading. I enjoy just that quick story that I can maybe just, you know, read within a day or two. I don't know, I like it. It feels like more of watching a TV show versus watching a movie. Like the one you have to invest longer into, whereas the other, you're just like, oh, I can get that done real quick, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. So that's how I feel about YA, because there are a lot of YA books I enjoy. Recently, I've mainly been reading just, you know, the full fantasy, the epic fantasy, but I do like to jump into, you know, the YA every once in a while. And if I'm going to, I like these a lot. They're really enjoyable. I like the relationship in them. That's the thing with YA, you tend to get more of that romance. And sometimes I just don't want to deal with that. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? Fine. I don't care. And this is when I don't care. Because it's not like overwhelming, because the main character, I think she's pretty cool, because she does like a lot of fighting. She's pretty tough, and I like that. So, and there's a lot of cunning, and I just enjoy it. And it's more of that darker kind of feel to the world, the Elfheim place. And so I enjoyed that spin on things. So yeah, those are my top 5 of the year so far. I'm going to go through some honorable mentions though, because there was some that was like, oh, I really enjoy these and I want to talk about them, but also, you know, I wanted to give my top first. So I'm doing that. So I also read this year. So I was doing, in the fall, I was rereading, well, I guess in the winter, I was doing a reread of Harry Potter. So by the time I got to January, I was on the last 2 books, which happened to be The Half-Blood Prince. And this is my favorite of the series. I like it. There's a lot that goes on. And so this one's just my favorite. I don't want to give like any spoilers or anything, but I'm sure most of you know the ending of this one. And I don't know. I liked it. I liked the relationship more with Harry and Dumbledore in this one, because they have a lot more interactions. And instead of, well, he still has a child doing everything instead of doing it himself, but that's fine. But you get a lot more coming out of the story. You know, all the build up from the other books, you're finally getting things to being revealed, which is nice. And so I just felt like this was like, I don't know, I just really liked this book. I didn't like 7 as much, Deathly Hallows, because I just didn't like that one. I felt like the Hollows weren't really for shadows as much as in the other books, so it didn't make as much sense to me as the Horcruxes did. But I don't know, I still like it. I still just like to reread them every once in a while, so it was fun. But yeah, so that one goes on there. The other one was And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. This was the first book I read by her this year, and I loved it. It was so good. If you're going to read an Agatha Christie book and you want to try out And Then There Were None. It was great. It was a murder mystery. It's a murder mystery type book. I think this is like is this a movie or a TV series cover? I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I've seen the other ones, like the Murder on the Orient Express and the Death on the Nile. I did watch those movies. Those are both really good. Read the books too. And I don't know, the movies did a really good job. But yeah, so I enjoyed this one. I thought it was great. It was fun. Now, the investigator, the detective Poirot, he wasn't in this one. He is in those other ones that I mentioned, Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express. But he's not in this one. This is mainly just, a group of people together. And then there were none. So I don't want to give too much away, but I guess the title kind of tells you. And then my last, I still have a couple of honorable mentions. But another one was Bioshock, which you probably will really only like this book if you are as addicted to the video game as I am, because it's more of like that, like a fan kind of based book, and I love it because I am obsessed with the games. So this one was perfect for me, and I was excited to get to reread it again because it's been a while, and of course then I had to play the games afterwards. But this is taking place before Bioshock 1 and 2, so you're kind of getting the build up of Rapture itself and getting to see how it got to be built and how it got to be the way it was. And when this book ends, it's the start of the video games essentially. And so it's this great prequel to the series, and so throughout the game itself, when you're playing, you get these tapes that you can listen to from some of the people that lived on Rapture, and a lot of those tapes are from these characters in this book. So you get to actually get more of that connection with them and, see why they wrote those tapes and, why they said what they said. And of course, this is a kind of more of a darker, creepy book because, you got everyone murdering each other and, you got the splicers, and it's just, I don't know why I like this stuff, but I do. And I love the games, and so I had to put that on there. The last honorable mention is, I mentioned it kind of earlier, how this one was a great one, but the Exile from that Bound and the Broken series. Exile was a great novella. It was amazing. I loved it. It really made me enjoy Dane's character. I think he was great in that novella, and I loved it. Him and Belina, they were great together. You had more of that kind of that sibling relationship, and I loved it. It was just, it was good. It was really good. So make sure you read the novellas of that series when you check out that series. And I'm going to say when because you need to check it out. So I'm assuming that you're going to check it out. But yeah, and so now I'm going to talk about some of my least favorite reads of the year so far. It's kind of a sad note to end on, but that's okay. So obviously if you've seen any of my other videos, you're going to know that this was a DNF for me, Night Angel Nemesis, which I'm sad, but it was a DNF. I was really excited about it, but this is completely different than the Night Angel Trilogy, which I did read that also this year, and I would put that up there with my honorable mentions. I probably should have, but I like that trilogy. I do. The problem is this book kind of put a bad taste of it in my mouth because it's like they totally ruined the characters and the main character. They're just, I don't know. I'm just so sad by how much I did not like this. But yeah, so that's that one. My other least favorite was the Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. That's a mouthful. I would not remember this title unless I looked at it. But this one, I finished it. I didn't like it. I love the other two secret projects so much. Obviously, they're my top 5. This one was my bottom of the group, and I didn't like it. It didn't fit for me. I didn't like the humor. I didn't really like the story. So I just didn't enjoy it. I know a lot of people did, and I'm glad that they did because you gotta have some people that enjoy it. Because it makes it fun. And it is good. For me, the writing is obviously still good. And then another Sanderson one, which I don't have the book because I didn't want it to not match the rest, but The Lost Metal, I didn't like that one either. Obviously, I liked it better than the Frugal Wizard's Handbook Guide, so it's not like the bottom of the bottom for me. I just really didn't enjoy it. So I'm holding up the other books in the series, but it just, I don't know. I mean, the ending was good, I think, but I don't know. This whole era too, I just really wasn't a fan of, because it's like, it felt like the plot was always, going everywhere, and I don't know. Era 1 was just so good of Mistborn that it's like, it's hard to, really compare them and feel like they are actually in the same world. And then The Lost Metal, I don't know. I felt like there was a lot of actions taken in it that kind of felt, I don't know, kind of cheapened it for me a little bit. A lot of the, oh, this character's back kind of thing. I don't know. I just wasn't a fan. I think it felt more like a story just to kind of help move the other stories along. Like, it felt more like it was just kind of this filler book to kind of keep that world in the Cosmere and to get things running into place for the other stories. And so I felt like it was missing something, and I just really didn't enjoy it, and I couldn't wait for it to be done after the 6 or 7 epilogues. I just couldn't wait for it to be done. But yeah, like I said, I feel bad ending on kind of like a downside of, the books. But for the most part, I've read a lot of good books this year. I really have. And I'm really excited to see where the rest of the year is going. There's still so many that I didn't mention. Like, I reread the Six of Crows series. I've also have read some Wheel of Time books. I think only 2. I think I've only read 2 so far this year. And then I've also have read the Combat Codes, a couple of other Agatha Christie books. So it's like, I've had a lot of fun this year so far, and I'm really excited to see, maybe at the end of the year, if this list will change or what I'll add to it, if I'll have other favorites. So I'm excited to see where it's going to go, but I really am glad that I got to do this, a little bit of a mid-year check-in, just see where I'm at and what, I'm excited about, and maybe what I didn't like so much. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this, maybe found some books that you might want to try out, or maybe you disagree with me on some things. Let me know.